What's going on, guys? Noah from Stage 3 here, and I'm finally in the shop with the Maverick, ready to turn wrenches. Got some parts lined up, so first things first, I'm gonna get this truck up on jack stands, pull off those stock wheels and tires, and then I'll roll out the new equipment, show you guys what we have in store. But yeah, I'm gonna get into it and check back in just a minute. As you can see, we're not going to reinvent the wheel with this build. We wanted to keep it pretty practical, and we're looking to basically just make this thing a solid weekend warrior and then really work on correcting the issues we had with ground clearance, because this truck handled itself pretty well off-road, but it was scraping and catching on every rock and every bump in the trail. Essentially, what we started all off with, and kind of the key to all of this, is this rough country 2-inch lift. And the reason we chose this kit specifically is we wanted to do something a little more substantial than just a spacer lift, which there's nothing wrong with spacers. You'll see that pretty frequently on Maverick builds, whether it be a 2-inch or 2.5 inch. And we've ran plenty of spacers in the past. But for this setup in particular, we wanted something that is kind of a step above. So what you'll see is we've got 2 complete front struts, as well as 2 rear coil springs, the matching rear shocks, and of course, all the hardware, isolators, drop brackets, things like that. So in theory, this should ride a little bit nicer than just a spacer slapped on top of the factory equipment. And it'll also make the install a bit easier for us because we don't have to disassemble the factory struts to put spacers into it. Of course, the 2 inches of lift here is a really key part of this build because that's what's going to allow us to run a larger tire. So for the wheel and tire combo, first thing we did is we got a set of Falken AT4Ws. These are an excellent, well-rounded all-terrain, and I personally have had great experience with the AT3s in the past, and so far I've really liked the AT4. I think it's going to be the right tire for this build because we're still going to get really good on-road manners, and it shouldn't really screw with the way that this truck feels because it is very comfortable to drive just as a daily, but it's also going to give us a larger contact patch and obviously much more aggressive tread than what we had with the very highway-friendly factory tires. With that, we didn't want to just slap new tires onto some bland factory wheels, so that's where the KMC Bully wheel comes in. These are 17x8s in kind of a satin black finish, which looks really sharp, and obviously the design is a bit sportier than what you'd see in your typical Maverick offerings from Ford. And then this wheel is also a 38mm offset, which is actually very similar to what the factory wheels are. I believe when I checked that they're around 37.5 from Ford. So yeah, very similar in terms of fitment, but the beauty of that is that it's going to keep these tires kind of tucked in line with the fenders so they're not poking out super far, and it should help with getting this to fit and articulate properly without having to cut out massive chunks of the inner fender liner or, the plastic around the bumper and all that. Overall, I think the setup is going to be solid for our Maverick, but now we got to get to the difficult part, which is pulling everything apart and getting the new equipment in. So I'm going to start tearing out the front struts, and I'll see how far I get tonight because I'm starting really late in the day. the passenger side is done. Overall, the process is pretty simple. I feel like the removal was really no fuss. You could easily do this at home. But I will say the last couple steps of getting that strut in are a bit difficult with the new Rough Country one. As you guys saw, I basically had to get the top 3 bolts through and most of the way tight. Then went back, got the 2 bottom bolts in, and once I had it mostly secure, then I slid the floor jack underneath that knuckle where the lower arm meets it and jacked it up a little bit, because really it's that sway bar end link that's the problem. So yeah, a little bit finicky to make that work, but once you know what you're doing, it's not so bad. So there's a little top tip for you guys if you're doing this yourselves. But now I got to tear apart the other side and get that other coil in. So let's get to it. I was hammering on the knuckle to get the tie rod end to come loose, and look at what fell out of there. Driver's side is done, which is a huge relief because I've been working on other projects all day. I didn't start the suspension stuff until tonight, and now it's almost 1 in the morning. So I'm gonna wrap things up here, and we'll work on the rear tomorrow, getting all that dialed in. I don't think it's gonna be very difficult either, but it'll certainly be a lot easier with a little bit of shut-eye. So with the magic of editing, I'll see you guys in just a moment. And just like that, back for day 2. But before I take apart the rear end of the Maverick, I did want to show you guys something on the bench here. If you take a look at Rough Country's instructions, they do include torque specs, which is super handy. The other thing to note here is that the instructions come with some pretty decent pictures. It's all black and white though, and a little bit low res printed out. So if you're looking for a better version of these instructions, check out Rough Country's website. In the installation section, when you pull up the part number for this kit, you'll find a PDF that has full color images and is a little nicer to follow. But with that out of the way, let's get to work on pulling all this apart and get the rest of that suspension in. It seems like the instructions kind of gloss over this part a bit with removing the top mount of the rear shock. So I'll give a little extra detail here just in case you're watching through this trying to follow along at home. First thing you're gonna need is a flathead screwdriver, and you just wanna kind of pop up on this little plastic tab. Then once you pull that off, the little cap will come free, and you guys should be able to see in here, there's a little nut on the end of the shaft, and you're gonna need a 13mm deep well for that. Now with just a regular deep well on a ratchet, you can usually get the shock on the ground, kind of get your knee on the mount, and then break it free. Once you have it free, it'll spin for a bit, but what you'll realize is that if you pull the boot down, at a certain point, as you're turning the nut, it's actually just spinning the shaft inside here. So after you've broken it free, the easiest way I found is to just take an electric impact with the 13 on it as well, and we'll pop it off. There we go. So that gets it free for us. Now, the thing I will say is if you don't have an impact or it's not able to get that nut free, then you may need to go get a pass-through socket set and then, you know, pop that over it and clip this top squared off part of the shaft with vice grips or something like that to hold it. That way it's not spinning, but this seemed to be the best way to do it. So now we can move this over to the brand new shock. Okay, passenger side rear is done, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. It wasn't too much of a struggle to get this together. I will say it was maybe a bit more involved than the front. You know, no big deal, just required a little more finesse with the floor jack to get everything lined up again once we had the new spring and the new shock in there. So now I need to hop over to the driver's side, pull that apart, swap the new equipment in, and then we are pretty much good to go. I ran down to my buddy's shop earlier and got the wheels and tires mounted and balanced. Those are sitting off to the side, ready for us to throw them on as soon as this truck is complete. And then after that, all we have to worry about is the alignment. But yeah, I'm gonna grab all the tools, scoot over to the other side, and get back to work. Getting the new spacers for the trailing arms and the new bolts up in there is pretty difficult on both sides, but using the floor jack definitely helps if you can get it underneath the arm just to help lift everything up into place. You'll need to put the spacers on top first, but I found that this is pretty essential to making this work. I gotta say, guys, I think the Maverick stance turned out perfect. 2 inches of lift is quite a bit for such a small pickup. So that plus the new 30-inch Falken AT4s and those new KMC wheels really rounds it all out, just makes for a great stance. And this thing feels like a proper little 4x4. I get that this isn't truly like a 4-wheel drive truck. It's an all-wheel drive crossover underneath, but you know, you get what I'm saying. We've got something here that looks a lot more fit to go hit trails and run some back roads. What I need to do now is take this rig, go get it aligned, and then after that, I want to try and get some time to run it around the block, hit the highway, put some miles on it, and give you guys a couple first impressions on how it rides on the street and just generally how it feels versus stock. I'll throw that in here at the end, but just so you know, we will also do a full tilt off-road review where I can truly test this thing out and see how much we really improved over that original stock off-road run that I did with this rig. So that will be coming down the road. Anyways, I think that pretty much wraps it up here for our time in the shop for this video. So we'll jump to those first impressions and see how this thing rides. Now, to be completely honest with you guys, I was a little worried that we were gonna ruin the ride of the Maverick by putting a lift kit on it because it is a crossover underneath, so it's really more like a car than it is a truck, and I wasn't sure how this was gonna affect it. The good news is it actually rides pretty nice. Now, that's not to say that nothing changed. You can definitely tell that we've altered the suspension, but for the amount of lift that we got and the stance that we got and the ability to run these bigger tires, I think the compromise is actually fairly small. The truck does feel firm, and it is stiffer than it was from factory, and really across the board, any lift kit you add is going to make a vehicle ride a bit more stiff, generally speaking. So that's no surprise. And you know, if you're used to softer, cushier, heavier vehicles, this probably will feel a bit more rigid to you. So I don't want you guys to get the idea that this thing just rides like a cloud, but the Maverick was also fairly firm and sporty feeling just right out of the box from factory. So this wasn't that significant of a change. And I think for daily driving, just hitting surface streets like I am right now, and you know, poking around neighborhoods, you know, bouncing over some speed bumps, things like that, it really is perfectly comfortable for everyday use. Another thing I wanted to address real quick is the tire rub situation. So with this wheel and tire combo and this 2-inch lift, we get just a tiny bit of rub, and it's only when this truck seems to be at like full lock. So, you know, if I'm pulling a U-turn, got the wheel all the way cranked, it does catch just a little bit. Or if I'm backing out of a parking space and it's kind of tight and I have to cut the wheel, I can hear it just rubbing slightly on those inner front wheel well liners, or like fender liners in there. So I think I'm gonna need to get in there and cut it back just a little bit to make some more room. Overall though, the Rough Country kit has given me a pretty strong first impression. I think that this is a solid system on the street, so we'll see after I spend some more time with it. I'm definitely looking forward to getting it in the dirt and seeing how this thing performs, because that was really what we were focusing on when I last took it out, was just that off-road performance and trying to get some more clearance. But you know, this is it seems to be a pretty good entry-level system for this rig. One final thing I wanted to add to this video before we wrap up is a note about the alignment on the Maverick, because I got it back from my buddy's shop. We were taking a look, and he was able to get the caster and the toe dialed in no problem, but the camber is slightly out of spec. It's just a little too positive. So what that means in layman's terms is the top of the tire is actually sitting out just slightly over the bottom. And in our case, driving the truck around, you can't really feel any difference. It drives super nice, it handles tight, doesn't pull left or right or anything like that. But that little bit of positive camber is going to cause some issues long-term in terms of tire wear. So what it tends to do is it'll wear out the outer edge of the tire faster than the center or the inside edge. Obviously, as you rotate your tires and stuff, you can kind of offset that a little bit. But ideally, if this is your personal vehicle and you're commuting in it and it's your main ride that you're putting miles on, I'd really recommend getting a set of adjustable camber bolts to help get some of that adjustment back in the suspension to make sure you can get this as close to factory spec as possible. Just keep that in mind. But I don't have anything else for you guys. So as always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next time.